Hare Krishna, welcome everybody for our next session of Bhagavad Gita. We are doing chapter 3. The name of chapter 3 Bhagavad Gita is Karma Yoga, and Krishna in this chapter is teaching us how to live a life of austerity. Austerity is the basis of living a human life. In this regard, I happened to read a story today about Kashyapa Muni. And Kashyapa Muni is a sage that lived in Satya Yuga, where the life of people was thousands and thousands of years. And he engaged for a very severe austerity for thousands of years. He satisfied the Lord, and the Lord appeared to him as his son, as Vamanadev. And there is a verse from Ramayana that we will see here and try to appreciate in terms of austerities. Austerity is a key to satisfy the Lord. This is a verse from Balakanda of Ramayana. It says, Tapomayam, Tapo Rashim, Tapo Murtim, Tapatmakam, Tapasa Twam Sutaptena Pashyami Purushottama. Just reciting the verse, not knowing anything about it, makes it feel so good. And there is tapa so many times in this verse. Tapomayam, the Lord is abundantly achieved by austerities. Everybody has an experience of having a snack and then having a full meal, meaning seeing the Lord once and then achieving the Lord abundantly, right? It's like you have the Lord with you always. That's an outcome of austerity. Tapo Rashim, he's the very form of all austerities, and he grants fruits of austerities. Tapo Murtim, he is the very form of knowledge. Everybody wants to be knowledgeable, conduct one's life with knowledge, and the very form of knowledge is the Lord. Tapatmakam, his very nature is that of knowledge. Everything about the Lord is so enchanting, and that Lord, who is the reservoir of all we see in this universe, he is pleased by austerity. Now, going back to Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, text number 11, it says, the demigods, being pleased by sacrifices, will also please you, and thus by cooperation between men and demigods, prosperity will reign for all. This is a way of living life. When one performs sacrifices, tapasya, the demigods are pleased and they help us to live peacefully in this world. And moving on, it also helps us to achieve the end goal of life. What it does, the performance of tapasya or sacrifice gives us many side benefits, ultimately leading to liberation from material bondage. So while going through life, our sacrifices and tapasyas help us in overcoming small and big obstacles, struggles of the world while we live in this world. And at the end of our life, it grants us liberation. So Kashyapa Muni did austerity and he got the Lord as his son. He did austerities for thousands of years, he meditated. Now, we don't live for 1,000 years today in Kali Yuga. So one may ask, okay, what austerity can I perform for the pleasure of the Lord? And this chapter, this verse of Bhagavad Gita is telling us one simple austerity one can perform is to cook Today we have all been so accustomed to going to the restaurants and eating, and it's very easy, right? You go, you sit, you eat, and you're done. Austerity today is to cook, and it's recommend Bhagavad Gita is recommending we cook with a calm and composed way for the pleasure of the Lord, and offering the foodstuffs that we cook to the Lord before we eat. What does this do? This sanctifies the foodstuff. And when we eat such sanctified foodstuff, our whole existence becomes purified. Our activities that we perform become purified. And by purification of our existence, the finer tissues in the memory become sanctified. When memory is sanctified, one can think of the path of liberation. And this is our path that enables and facilitates our journey towards Krishna. This is a great necessity for today's present society. Kashyapa Muni performed thousands of years of austerity to satisfy the Lord. A recommendation for us is to offer our foodstuff to Krishna before we eat, and that is our path for purification. The Lord is so kind, meaning providing us with simple ways of satisfying Him, and by that satisfaction, our whole life becomes happy and purified. So let us all pray that we may be able to do little sacrifices, whatever possible, in our life for the pleasure of the Lord. Thank you. Hare Krishna.